Welcome, people. Welcome. Ooh, this reaction is called Get Mad But Sin Not. This is for the generation 30 and younger. In case, you didn't learn it in school, is rarely, they teach it every year, Black History Month. This was during the 60s, the 50s, 60s, from the 30s, 40s, 50s, the civil rights movement that was developed by little entities around the neighborhood that began spreading wide. And then you have the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's and things like that. But there's a lot of people that you didn't hear about that had a voice, that was speaking and not following Martin Luther King. And remember, this stuff just started just in the South, like Alabama, Mississippi. That's what is civil rights and the slavery movement and all that stuff. That happened in the South. It spread it later. We wasn't calling ourselves Black. Negro just mean a native to Africa. You go look it up. The very first meaning of Negro, just native for Africa. That's it. And we're not saying just because I'm an Indian, I'm not saying that my blood is not over there. So I am a Negro. My birth certificate, it says Negro, and I'm a native to Africa. My blood, there's no way I can say that no one that came from Africa mixed with the people over here, and I don't have none of it. I can't say that. But during the civil rights movement, the casting system, because no one is Black. Quit calling yourself Black. No one is white. It's an inheritance. We have a nationality, and this Black white is a casting system. And we wasn't aware of that we the one that created the casting system. So when these harsh things did happen, I mean, it's not like just because we're seeing that it happened within our time, but you're going into history, Europeans have been slaved and up under brown people. So it's not a judgment of who's wrong or who's right. This slavery happened. No, it's a point of treating someone the way you supposed to be treated. Now, in 1948, the UN adopted what they call the Human Acts, the Human Right Act, the Human Right Act. And it basically emphasized how you're supposed to be treated as a human of this earth from day one when you first came out. But, people is not obliged by that situation. They don't care about your human rights as a human, unless we're not humans. I don't know. So let's go ahead and get into it. What I have is showing you one of the voices that really did get heard. They didn't the people. I ain't talking about the what we're calling white people. I'm talking about their own people didn't care enough to come together up under this voice. They didn't care enough. So let me get into it right quick and show you guys another voice that that hasn't been heard in a wide scale. They don't talk about it too much. And much love to everyone that is a part of the civil rights movement.
This revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. All right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the Black people in this country are demanding, and even the Black people in the whole world.
See, number one, people, you're brown. Right now I'm talking to my people, not as a bride. You're brown. You're not Black. Now, this brother was taught that maybe the Black, but calling yourself Black is better than calling yourself other than your natural nationality. They was taught this. So this is history. But history should tell you that this brother is brown. His color of his skin is brown. So we need to stop calling each other black.
Manny, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that
the only person that you heard other than this brother that told you that in this diaspora was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I'm going to tell you guys that Elijah Muhammad told the civil rights movement, the whole entire movement, when I go to the White House, they treat me with royal as a king. They don't treat me as they treat you, me or none of my followers. So if they say that you are free, well, then go be free. But you the message was turned around and making them think he looked like he racist, whatever. But if you go look at Elijah Muhammad documentaries or videos, you'll see that there is the other race, what we call white people too. We don't believe in racism. When you are on universal principles, everybody is deserving what their nature has for them. Every single body.
there's justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal.
This is one of the reasons why I have a problem with voting. Why should I have to vote? You know, I understand this is a system on a wide spread, but coming from the slavery aspect as the brown person, coming from that aspect, I don't see that it's right that I have to vote for you to treat me right. I treat you right. I don't need to vote to govern myself to say I shouldn't treat you wrong. I mean, I should treat you wrong. I already know that. It's already said, excuse me, people. It's already said. It's in my DNA. It's in my genetics not to treat you wrong. I mean, to treat you the way I want you to treat me. It's in my genetics to do that. So I don't need to vote to go outside and say, well, I'm not going to step on that brother's toes, or, you know, I'm not going to flirt with that woman because she's married and her husband. I don't need no one telling me. It's in me not to do that.
Instead, you're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us. And every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all.
And he's right. You're always giving us that's what he's saying. That you're always giving us a little bit of something. Look, we don't want the whole pie. You know, those that are talking about this racist stuff and white folks is the devil and all that, I can understand. They back in time. We're not tripping on that. This Indian, this brother loved everybody, the devil too. So it's not a such thing as a devil. It is universal principles of negative and positive energy, and that's everybody. Everybody hold that negative and positive energy. It's a part of the atom. So we're not teaching, like as his brother is saying, we're not teaching hate or anything. Why should we ask you? This is our land. And you want to say, when you're dealing with that diaspora, this is our land, but it's made for you and me. After the declaration of when they went and did the Treaty of Paris and with the 1882, it come back with the Declaration of Independence. Huh? That's what I'm living on. And because I'm living on that, I don't deal with racism. Nigga, N-I-G-G-A. Well, that's royal. Today's definition, and that's recently any ignorant person. But the old definition, the original definition, is a royal bloodline. It's a kingship. There's nothing wrong with that word. I don't care what diaspora that you put it in. There's nothing. It doesn't. You can say ass. It's in the Bible, so it all depends on the word the meaning behind the word. What is the gesture? What is the intent behind the word? But I mean, we're not going to go around here and calling each other ends. We're not going to do that. But at the same time, we need to get over that hump and go back to respecting everybody.
Tokenism. We don't want tokenism. And there are most black men in this world that don't want charity. And yet still every time we ask you for something, you give us a little piece, a little piece. You're playing games with us. We're not children. We're big men. I've seen my father have to put up with all kinds of stuff. He was a big man. He raised a family. He went down south, and he had to go around to the back door with his wife. We're not asking for anything. We're not asking for any favors. All we want is what's ours. Now, there are many black veterans who are coming back, and they're mad. They're angry.
And see, what he asking for at that time, he didn't understand, because the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's, the only one that was teaching this type of information was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's the only one that was teaching this. Huh? So what he asking for is already given. It's the banner that you're falling up under. Don't call yourself black. You're not from Africa. Why are you calling yourself that? That's the way you're going to be treated. That's your choice. But I'm just saying that the Indians that I am familiar with, we're going to change this right here. We're not going to call the white man the devil. The white man ain't a devil. It's a lot of deceivers. It's a lot of color of deceivers. White, Chinese, it doesn't matter. Yellow, it doesn't matter. Deceiver.
Do you think that they're going to sit down through this? Our fathers didn't have the knowledge that we had. They sat through it. But there are other black youth that are not going to sit through it. We know about Che. We know about Fanon. We've read the books of Revolution. We've listened to Mao and his quotations. We know where we stand.
This is one of the voices that did not get heard. And the reason why you didn't hear it is because of the Malcolm X's and the Martin Luther Kings.
We're not going to sit for it. We're asking, and if we ask and we don't get, we're prepared to stand up and take it. If I ask a man, I tell a man I am hungry. I tell him I am cold. And I ask him to do something about my condition. And this man holds a loaf of bread right in front of me so I can see it, and I keep asking him, I'm begging him to please give me a slice of the loaf of bread. I am hungry. Then it is known by every psychologist that the next step in the progression is I am going to knock him upside the head and take the bread from him. Right. I'm not going to starve to death.
But we ain't going to do that.
All we're asking, no one wants to see blood. No one likes the smell of blood. No one wants war. Anyone who's been in war doesn't want war. Everyone knows what it is to see the inside of a man's gut hanging out and see your friends die, see relatives die.
Crazy.
No one wants to regress back to the state of mind where you have to think it's all for the cause, therefore my mother has to die, my wife has to die, my brothers and sisters have to die. No one wants that. But you're pushing us to it. You're leaving us no choice. We're asking, we're begging. The students up at Columbia, they ask. The brothers down south ask. The brothers in Latin America, the brothers in Africa, they're all asking. All they're doing is asking. Our fathers asked. Our grandfathers asked. The presidents of our universities, our colleges had to go to your back doors to beg that their children be given.
This is the problem, people. You're asking the wrong individual. All these years, you have these black organizations that come and ask for these 40 acres and a mule, and ask for this and ask for that, from a people that didn't do nothing to us, that didn't take nothing from us. You have to understand we did this to ourselves. So you're asking the wrong people for the wrong things. You ask them how to operate. You ask them how to build economy. You ask them how to fluctuate with overseas policies. But what we've been asking for all this time, land and money like that, you're asking the wrong people. You're asking the wrong entity. Let me put it like that.
Just enough money so that they could be taught something to live off. And yet still they ask and ask and ask, and you refuse to give them anything. Now we're just about out of patience. We're not going to ask anymore. The news media says that it's only the young that are militant, only the young that want this and want that. Okay, but we're 40% of the black population now. Or we were a year ago, and still yet we're climbing. Before long, we'll be 50%, 55%, and then we'll have the command. We're not going to take it. We're not going to take sitting in rotten parks and in places that just aren't fit for living. We're not going to take it. There's a limit to a man's patience, and everyone knows that God, Christ, heaven, everyone knows that what we're asking is not $1 million. What we're asking for is humanity. We're asking to be allowed to live like human beings. And God, you tell us that this is too much to ask. You're sick. You're definitely sick. How can you tell me that it's too much to ask to be a human being?
You see what I'm saying, people? We asking the wrong people for the wrong things. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy that we're taught to act like this. We're taught this. Well, we don't have to ask. There's no reason to ask. It's given. It's ours. If something is yours, then it's given to you. They're not the people that took this away from us. We did this ourselves. So the only way to accomplish that is we need to stop doing something to ourselves. I'm gonna let you know that I have a community organization called Brown Mason, based out of Sacramento, California. Brown Mason Community Builders of Science, Food, Gardening, Clothing, Development, Entertainment, I think, too. People, it's not the government. When we're looking at the homeless now, and we're looking at the slavery now, we're looking at the private sectors that's doing this. We're not stop blaming the government. Stop doing that. It's not educated. You're not getting nowhere. And why is you constantly asking the government for something that the government is giving? You got to understand you're not black. You're not African American. So as long as you falling up under those banners, go read the Constitution. You can't get nothing. Look at your skin. You're brown and you're beautiful. Quit calling yourself black. Quit being angry at a people that didn't do anything to you. You brought it on yourself. We did this ourselves. So we need to stop blaming everybody else. That's all I'm saying. And while I'm saying it, go ahead and push that subscribe, comment, and like button so we can get more and more going into these reaction videos. So I understand why the brother is angry and mad, and we're just going to have to do something about it ourselves. So much love, people. Much love, people.